Well, I have the Marilia family here with me who are going to say hi to our church congregation online this morning. Give everyone a wave, Marilias. We've got Ivan and Anne-Marie, if you don't know them, and Delane and Ruben, who are both in the youth group. And they've come all the way from South Africa. Great connection through Dr. Jonathan David's Isaac network, and they've been with us for about 5 years now. And Anne-Marie plays an amazing role in the school and has been a real key pioneer with the school. Ivor works at Lighthouse Christian College, and then the kids are split up between schools as well. So, but great family in the church, and just a true love for God. And want to hear a bit about what's been going on for them. So why don't you kick us off, Ivor? What's God really been doing in you and the family during this unusual year of COVID?
So we were discussing it a bit earlier today, and just I think there's a lot of things that has been going on, but probably what's standing out at the moment is that there's personal victories and personal battles that are going on, and the things that you go through in your character or that God works in you, most probably other people will never ever see that what God is busy doing in this time. And so I think there's a lot of internal dynamic shifting. For me personally, I feel like God is really setting me free from my old ways of thinking, my old paradigms, and basically just a new wineskin.
Yeah.
And so I can feel that God is just changing the old, taking out a lot of the unnecessary old things. And that's why I say it's a very internal working at the moment. And I think there's a big focus on preparation for the next phase, whatever that might be, especially when you can't see into the future. The only thing that I can really do now is work it myself. And that's what I feel like I'm focusing on now.
Great.
So with the kids, been going very well. We're very fortunate and very grateful that we both have work as the parents. Unfortunately, Delane doesn't have her work that she started a couple of months ago. But we're still fortunate as a family. Ruben's looking for work, so not really.
Some lawns that could be mowed at my place, Ruben.
Yeah. So we're just feeling very grateful. It is very slow pace of things. I'm a teacher, as you said earlier, and so having to do the whole remote learning was a challenge in the beginning, but it feels like it's all sort of working out now.
Okay. How do you feel as a teacher about this next phase of lockdown, and the kids are going to be back in at home for at least 4 weeks, but who knows, it could be the whole term. How's that as a teacher?
So we prepare for the whole spectrum of responses, but me personally, I think that it's going pretty well with the kids that I've heard of. I think the key for us is really what you're doing now, is really connecting and trying to keep those connections going. And what's interesting is the quieter people seem to be coming to the forefront, and those that were rambunctious seem to be going to the background. So I think it's a real time of getting everybody involved. So very positive.
Right. I love what you're saying about character. I think it's trials and hard times, but also it may not be particularly hard, but just unusual seasons like this, unexpected seasons where definitely you see what character you have, and you also see where the frailties are and where you can grow. And I've been hearing lots of great stuff from people just about how they've been pushing into God and their prayer life's flourishing during this time. And I hope that that's how everyone comes through that. So it's great to hear that that's a bit of what God's been doing in you, and it's fantastic. Yeah. But what about you, Anne-Marie, mum of the home? What's it been like having kids at home learning, and then you've been working, and just family life, weekends?
Well, I will be quite honest from my side. I'm very happy that I was the one in the family that could continue going to work.
Yeah.
So I thought if I had to stay at home and work from home, I probably would get quite frustrated with the family.
Mm.
So it's nice that I'm able to still go away. But I think what I enjoyed in this time is I think one can get pretty frustrated because you're in the same space the whole time. So
Yeah.
you have to be quite intentional about getting out of it, going for walks. So I particularly have enjoyed that Ivor is actually at home and we can go for things like walks and your conversations are just a bit better, a bit more in depth. There's a nice growth in the marriage, a bit more time with the family. But yes, we have to be very intentional about how to give each other the appropriate space. I've actually enjoyed the whole COVID thing. It's quite nice, but one does miss to go out and see other people and interact and connect.
Yes, it's funny, isn't it? Even the most introverted want to get out of the house or want to see people, and we got this horrible little window where we maybe went out for dinner or did a couple of normal things, and then we're back in a lockdown. It's very frustrating. So, but you were telling me a bit about yourself and just worshipping a bit and pushing into God a little bit extra during this time and having that focus. How's that been for you?
I think so. Something that was really nice for me was to feel that, okay, I don't have church on a Sunday. I don't have that worship time that I really, really enjoy. So what am I going to do about that now? And I just started to, I don't know, when I walk, when I'm in the car, when I'm at work, just have these moments of gratefulness. And what started to come out, there was a repetitive sentence that started coming up for me. And that was, I come before you not to ask of you, but I come before you because of who you are.
Yeah.
And that was just really great for me. And I could feel there's really a sense of gratefulness just growing in my heart the whole time. It's just who he is. I'm not there to ask him for specific things that I want him to do for me, but just because of who he is as God and Father. Awesome. So yeah, that was good for me.
That's great. That I think we should write down that line. That was very good. We come before him not to ask of him, but we come before him because of who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Powerful. I love that. Really, really good. Awesome. What about you guys, Delane, Ruben? What's it been like in the youth group, Delane, with this time? I know that before this last lockdown, you guys have been able to get back together again because you'd been less than 20 could gather. But tell us a bit about youth group, what's been going on, what's been different this year?
Well, during previous lockdown, I suppose we kind of just did what we could for the moment. We were calling on Zoom every night or every Friday night just to check how everyone was going. And then once some of the restrictions were let up a little bit, we were able to all come together in the church, and then we'd split off into our little youth groups within the youth.
Yeah.
Or net groups within the youth. So that was quite nice to be able to reconnect with some people that we hadn't seen in weeks. And then especially as the restrictions kept easing up where you could have bigger groups together, that was really good. And then just going back into a lockdown, we sort of, I think we've gone back into the just Zoom calling again. Yep. So just being able to check up on how everybody's going, you know, how everyone's feeling, just talk about, just talk about how everybody's going with lockdown. And
it's good. Yeah. It's good. I've been really impressed with the youth leaders and you guys in the youth group, the way that you've been so resilient and just changed what you've done and jumped on Zoom if you've had to. And I heard that there was a Zoom session or two even with interstate with guys from churches in Tassie and Adelaide and stuff. Were you on that one?
Yeah, I was on that one. It was pretty, it was very intense.
Why was it intense?
Oh, you know, just all the younger youth groups, all the younger kiddies.
Just going crazy, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. No parents around, just crazy. I can imagine. I'm sure you dobbed on Ruben later. Great to see you. It's great to see you growing up, Elaine, and becoming a beautiful young woman, and your heart for God, and getting involved in the youth group and sewing in there. It's really, really good. So, what about for you, Ruben? Have you got any maybe some tips for us, or some advice for any teenagers out there surviving coronavirus?
My main tip would probably be to just keep yourself busy, and be in contact with your friends as much as you can. So like calling them on your phone or Zoom or any social media app, but not spending too much time on social media because
Sorry, Ruben. This is your moment in the sun. Tell everyone to behave.
and like you could read a book or play some games with your family if they're up for it, and even if they're not, you could go for like a bike ride in your neighborhood.
Yep.
Or just go for a jog or a walk. Yeah, that's
Good.
basically it.
What have you kind of found as your go-to thing to do?
Well, I'm usually either playing on the Xbox, reading, or like out of the house jogging or something, and baking.
Baking? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought Mum said biking, but baking. Nice.
Both.
I like it. What's your favourite thing to bake?
Pardon?
What's your favourite thing to bake?
Probably cakes.
Yeah. It's nice. We need a lot more baking happening at our house. If you want to ever share any of that, you feel free to just give some to Mum. She can bring it to work and bring it over to my office for me. I'd love to taste that. It's good, mate. That's some very good tips. Appreciate that. Biking, jogging, baking, social media, but not too much social media. Stay in touch with your friends. So who's kind of your best buddy or two that you stay in touch with?
Jordan.
Jordan, yeah. Garante, yeah.
Yeah. And also Leek. He used to come to Australis, but he's in Africa now.
Wow. And you still stay in touch?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow, isn't that the beauty of the internet right there? Will you say hi to Leek for me? I remember Leek at Force Camp last year getting a great little touch from God. So you say Pastor Caleb says hi. Well, it's great to hear from you guys. Is there anything like the church could pray for you guys for? Anything going on or anything for your family that maybe we could just be a great opportunity for everyone when they meet in their groups, having watched this, just to say a prayer for you, the Marilia family. What would that be?
Something that comes to my mind is just that a word that I felt for this year is really alignment.
Great.
And that in this time, I feel like God is realigning us and really getting to our passions and stripping away some religious mindsets. But it's also a little bit of a risky area because you are sort of, it could be touch and go in that sense because you're really getting down to who you are as a person. And obviously God works in that area. And so I think my biggest desire is really just to get to what Pastor Phil was sharing with me is becoming the real person that God intended me to be, and for God to use that. And I guess that's, as a family, then I feel like, when you're aligned in your identity and with what God wants to do, it's a great place to be. So
right, I love that. That's a great prayer point. Awesome, I love that. I've really enjoyed spending a few minutes with you guys, and I know the rest of the church I've loved seeing you guys, and just gives us a bit of variety, and I appreciate for all shared so well and contributed something. So bless you. You can say a big goodbye to everyone.
Okay, thanks, Pastor K. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Lauren, how are you? It's great to see you.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good. So for those of you who don't know out there watching online, Lauren has been basically born into our church, kind of like myself. Been here for a long, long time with her parents originally, and now Mum's here with you, and yeah, we love having you involved in the youth group, and you're involved with young adults, and you're been a part of all different kind of things. And at the moment, you're working with the ACL, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
Christian Lobby.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. Really, really good. So why don't you tell us, Lauren, what has God been doing in you during this COVID time? We've missed about 18 Sundays of church now. But God has still been moving in people's lives. And so what's been going on for you?
Yeah. I think during this COVID period, it's been super different. But if I'm honest, it's probably almost the isolation bit has been a bit of a blessing in disguise. Just, I think from the point of view, it's really caused me to, I think, just sit down. And I think, so often busyness and the chaos of everything in life, we get caught up in tasks or things to do. And I think for me, it's been incredible to sit down and to almost just look in the mirror, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And just to really, I think, lay a lot of things down and really coming to the place of surrender with God. And it's been beautiful because it's caused me to look in the mirror and really, if I'm honest, grow up a little bit. And it's been incredible just to see what God has actually done, and just really, the thing of removing toxic things from my life, and really choosing, what are the things that I need and what are the things that God is doing, and dropping, the seeking of approval. And it's been incredible to just fix my eyes, I think, on, the only one who ever really should have mattered. And that's been really, really beautiful to see what God's doing. And I think a part of that, he's really positioned me in a place where, he's caused me to look at every area of my life. And as I think, laid things down, it's been beautiful because, it's new fire and new sparks of fire have begun to be released again. And just, new dreams. And it's just been this beautiful time of God unleashing these things, and, then me stepping into some exciting projects, and, having to really take some risks. But it's been beautiful the way God has, this place of the more you let go and the more you surrender, it just creates this beautiful trusting between you and God. And it creates this beautiful, God, it just becomes easier and easier to let go and to surrender. So I think, probably
what have you missed most about church?
I think probably the biggest would probably just be combining together. It's really hard when you're in isolation. I think, it's just you, or just your household. Yeah, literally. So I've really, really missed just coming together for worship, coming together like connect group and that type of thing. So I can't wait to come back.
So, socializing.
Yeah, basically.
Great speak from a young adult. That's good. And is there anything you want to say to the church? Is there anything that people could pray for you or you and Mum for?
Look, I don't think so, if I'm honest. I think, there's no real prayer needs or anything. Just really excited, I think, to come back and, God to do more and more in the next 6 weeks. And that's probably just where it's at, if I'm honest. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. It's going to be, it's crazy that we're in lockdown again. But
it is. It's nuts.
It's okay. We will survive. And it's good. It's great to hear. It's great to hear that you feel like your faith has only grown stronger, and it's a testimony 100%. To your heart for God, and despite the fact that there's not the normal rhythm of the Christian life there, that obviously God is always there, and you're still going strong, growing, and enduring.
Completely. Yeah.
Really
definitely.
Good. Well, thanks for talking to us.
No problem.
Thanks for being brave enough to stand in front of the whole church digitally.
All good.
Everyone a wave goodbye.
See ya.
Great. Thanks, Lauren.